Hey, good evening. Y'all, it's week 4, and I had some SOS emails last week after everything that we added, and everybody that was so appreciative of the slow pace we took in week 1 and 2. Had some great questions. It's really fun when we finish here at the church. I get to go home and basically watch the session again and read all the comments from everybody that's watching it live. So I'm excited to have y'all here with us and everybody who's watching live this evening and on the YouTube channel. I hope that you have your handouts. Just as a reminder, the link is there for you. It's also on your Equipping Minds page. The other thing that has been happening with questions that I'm getting is that, well, how can I do this at home? Okay, so what we have been doing is giving you all some little things to work on each week. And last week you got more. And I'll be curious to see posts on how your week has gone and hear about that as you've been implementing more things in. But in the 8 weeks, we can't possibly hit everything. You are getting 29 pages from this 206-page book, basically. And so there is a whole lot of information here. But one thing that you've heard me say is until you actually see Equipping Minds and see the processing and the working memory and all the overlap, it's really hard to wrap your head around it or even to explain it to somebody. So I know folks have been telling their friends, oh, go watch week 1 and week 2 and some of the other videos that are there on the website. So that's on there. You'll also see a professional development workshop. I get to train public school teachers, private school, homeschoolers, and so when I do a PD, we actually recorded one of them. So now schools can purchase this year-round and even watch the clips and then play the games with their teachers. Parents are using this. Interventionists are using this to put into their private practice, whether it's a learning specialist or a speech therapist or an occupational therapist or a psychiatrist or a special needs school or just a typical school or a learning center at a private school. So this is a great resource that's on the website for you. And then we've had a lot of folks who are going to be joining us at our conference. If you have been on the YouTube channel or the Facebook page, you've probably seen that April 15th through 19th, we're going to be right back here in Frankfurt for our certification. So there are professionals who get certified in Equipping Minds just like you would get certified in an Orton Gillingham or in an ILD or a Feuerstein or different programs. They are getting certified in Equipping Minds. There's CEU credits and PD hours that you can get and then using it professionally. So level 1 is going to be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then level 2 is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're actually going to have an overlap day. And so we also have a section on nutritional therapy. We've got 2 specialists coming this year on trauma-informed practices that are going to be joining us that do a lot of work with kids that are adopted. Ann Mara Hinton is coming, and then Dr. David Lindemann will be here. We're also going to be doing our primitive reflexes. Kathy Johnson will be speaking. Raphael Joundry will be speaking on sound therapy. So we've got an amazing group to help you understand all the pieces that come into Equipping Minds. And then, of course, I'll be there and we'll be playing the games. Some folks, especially those who are coming a distance, are staying the full week. And you can do that and get your level 1 and 2 done in one swoop, basically. And so it's a really fun week. It is being live streamed, so if you're not able to be here physically, it's also being recorded. And so that allows us to let people purchase their certification year-round and watch it at their own pace. So that is another thing that we're able to do to make it accessible. So that is just right around the corner. And then tonight, we're going to get to peek at the Roses program. And that's a new part of Equipping Minds that we have added, and we're going to take a look at some of those videos in just a minute. But as we continue this evening, one thing that I want to remind us of, because we've got a couple new folks I know here, we might have some new folks online, is that if you are reading your child's neuropsychological and you're seeing that IQ score and the processing score and the working memory and the comprehension and the fluid reasoning and the visual spatial, please know that those are not fixed. That is a static assessment, and that is a snapshot of your child at that point in time. That with all the research that we have, everything that we know about the brain, that intelligence is modifiable. And I'll qualify that by saying when a human mediator, a person, puts themselves in the situation, that they're very intentional and there's meaning and there's transcendence that happens. And that is what we get to see every single day when we have been working with students, that parents, schools, whether they're homeschooling or private or public, have tried so many interventions or a different curriculum, and that 12-year-old is still not reading fluently, or they're not able to get their thoughts down on paper, or they're not able to hold on to the steps of the math problem. They're not able to follow multiple step directions. They're not visualizing letters for spelling, or visualizing numbers, or visualizing images when they're reading. And I think you all know that when you pick up any curriculum, the curriculum assumes that your child is processing what they're seeing and hearing accurately. There's an assumption that they can hold on to multiple step directions, that they are making images when they're reading. They are able to pull information from their long-term memory into the present situation and make a good decision, which you'll hear called executive functioning, and able to make comparisons of things spontaneously. So there's so much that is assumed is happening, and when one or more of those areas are affected, all of a sudden things can fall apart. If your child has been through trauma, there's a lot of stress in the home, that greatly impacts the brain's ability to learn. They may end up in survival mode most of the day, and so you're not able to really work in that neurocortex region of the brain and get what you want done. And so a lot of the people we work with have been through the TBRI training with Dr. Karen Purvis or Heather Forbes' work on trauma-based intervention. And so we know that the playing of games is an incredible way to interact, build relationships, increase processing, increase cognition, increase language, increase social skills, and improve behavior. Yes, by playing games. But what we have found is we have to be very intentional about those games. It can't be we're just going to pick up Blink, you know, one of my favorite games, and just play it the one way that Blink says. You've heard me say we have over 30 ways to play Blink now. You've got 24 of them in your handout. So we're going to do a little warm-up and let your brains get going. and then jump right in. So our basic processing that we did on week 1 and 2, as a reminder, is we just went through and we said the number that we saw, then we went through and said the color we saw, and then we went through and said the suit. Everybody remember that? You've worked on that. Last week we did the number. We alternated number, color, and suit. Now this is going to be a little challenging, but we're going to do this together. I will help you. Remember those words with your students. Okay, so y'all ready? And I'll prompt as we go. So number, color, shape. Number, color. Good. Keep going. 5 red diamonds. 4 red diamonds. 9 red clubs. 9 black diamonds. 10 black diamonds. 8 red clubs. 8 black hearts. 6 black hearts. 2 black hearts. 7 black. Okay, nicely done. Did everyone keep up it here in the room and online? What you're going to find is the longer you do it, you may get stronger. You're going to have some other folks that keeping that sustained attention is going to be more challenging. So you might see them struggling. Now remember, if someone misspeaks and they say 3, 5, I'm either going to pause the card, or I'm going to say check, or I'm going to say, you know, that is 5, but if this was 3, whose turn is it? Oh, color. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, with your deck of cards, the other thing that you're going to see for working memory is that we can go ahead, and this is on your back of your handout, and so when you're looking at these for your cards, we focused on saying the number, the color, the suit, and sorting, alternating that. You're going to see in your handout that we can add a couple more things. And so I'm going to jump over and we're going to add plus and minus for just a minute. So I want you not to tell me what number you see, but if we added 1. So 3 plus 1 would be 4. 5 plus 1? 3. 11. 4. 8, 6, 3, 10. Okay, excellent. So you guys, adding 1 was easy. For some of your students, that may be really challenging, and that's where I would say a couple things. 1, I have found that children and adults love their birthday, and they seem to always be able to tell you how old they're going to be the next year. And so a lot of times I'll say, well, if you're 7, how old are you going to be next year? Oh, 8, yes. So when you were 5, how old were you going to be on your birthday? I also like to look at a number line. And in my workbooks, you're going to find a number line. And we'll look at that and help them see that on there. For plus and for minus. And then I also like to cover up those numbers on a number line. And so imagine, as we're looking up here, we've got a number line, and you may not be able to see this well, but I am covering up the 4. And I would cover it up with one of my linking cubes and ask the student, who's hiding here? And what I don't want is them to say, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want them to be able to look and say, well, who do you see in front of 5? Who do you see after 3? so that that's automatic. Okay? And so that's a great way to work on that and bridge that. Now, once you can do that, you can also add minus, but then let's subtract for just a minute. Now, some of y'all, I am going to tell you one more time, if your kiddos are not here yet, they're going to get there eventually. So if you come across something that is really frustrating for them, just wait on that step, okay? And you can just focus on plus. They might not be ready to put minus in yet, but don't think because I'm telling you all this at one time that means I want you to do it all this week with them, okay? So I don't want you to be overwhelmed. And remember my number one thing, when you're doing Equipping Minds, you have to have fun. And if you ever feel frustrated or they feel frustrated, remember, stop the madness and switch to something else because it should always be fun, okay? So minus, you ready? 3 minus 1, 2, 4, 1, 9, 2, 6, 4, 1, 8. Okay, excellent. So now we could go in and we could put that in our rotation for working memory. You ready? So tell me the number you see, 3, the color, the shape, plus 1, minus 1, 2. Number, color, shape, 10, 3, 3, red, spades, yeah. And it's okay when spades and clubs are a lot of times, you may not be as familiar, your kiddos may not, but take time and tell them, teach them the right language on this, okay? And go get a garden spade and show them what a spade is. Okay. 7, 2, 9, black, diamonds, 11, 4, 10, black, hearts, 7, 7, 4, red, spades, 3, 3. Okay, how do you feel? Does that feel like you just got warmed up? Yeah. And I wanted to focus on that with the deck of cards because I just feel like this is such a universal tool, and you can go to dollar store anywhere and literally get them for $1. And some of y'all are doing this with your parents, and this is a great tool to be able to use with adults who they've probably played bridge, you know, or they played poker, or, you know, different things. And so it's just a thing that's so easy and accessible. You would also do that with your blink cards, okay? So remember with blink, we're going to say the number, 2, color, shape, drops, number, 3, color, brown, lightning bolt, okay, number, 4, green, bolts, 5, yellow, stars, okay? So doing that, so you would have sorted those by number, by color, by shape, and then we're going to alternate those. Now, when you play the game of blink, and I'm going to show you that tonight for just a minute, you're going to have 2 cards that would be down, and then your student would have 3 cards, and then you could play it. You could say, I'm going to play, flower on flower, because you're matching the flowers. And then here, I can play, I've got 2 cards here, okay? Now I could play both of them because I could play brown on brown and drops on drops, okay? And then I can look here and I can play, 4 on 4, triangle on triangle, 5 on 5, moon on moon, 2 on 2, and bolt on bolt, and I'm stuck. He can't play. So sometimes I'll use that language with kids. We're just stuck. He can't use them. Because how many times are we doing many things that it's like, I can't use that. We're not going to need that one this time, and that's okay. Now remember, when you're doing the working memory things, kind of like what we talked about with processing, you always want to play it with your student. It's not about them performing, it's about you doing it together. And that modeling and that language, and so you're taking turns. We all learned, I think in kindergarten, maybe before that, we have to take turns. And you may have noticed when we were doing this, working memory is about taking turns, moving from the number, the color, the shape. The same thing with multiple step directions and holding on to those things that we need to do. The first thing we need to do, the second thing we need to do, the third thing. But as you know, last week you got to hear some of my favorite words when I give directions, which are, I see you, okay? I want to see what you guys remember. I see you going to your animal page, and we're gonna look at this and let's see, here we go. And this is animal set 1. And last week we learned 3 directions for our animals. So I see you taking your sheet protector and your dry erase marker, and I see you putting your sheet protector on your animals. And I'm going to go back over our 3 directions, okay? If you have not watched workshop number 3, please go back and do that, okay? But going back over, I see you drawing a circle around the bear, then I see you drawing a box around the snake, and then I see you drawing an X on the fish. Okay, so then I'm going to ask the student, and I'm actually going to come in here and do this with y'all tonight. Okay, so what do you see yourself doing? You ready? I see myself drawing a circle around the bear. I see myself drawing a box around the snake to keep him in. I see myself drawing an X on the fish. Okay, and there we go. So I hope you're able to see those up there as well. Now, tonight we're going to add some more. And I'm very excited about this. And you guys are going to do great. I'm going to help you. There we go. Okay. Now, after I see you drawing an X on the fish, then I see you drawing a triangle around the cat. So what do you see yourself drawing after you put the X on the fish? I see myself drawing a triangle around the cat. So let's do all 4 of those things from the beginning. And we're going to do this. There's 2 ways to do this, and even alternating back and forth. A lot of times I'll have students, they'll say, I see myself drawing a circle around the bear. I'll see myself drawing a box around the snake. I see myself drawing an X on the fish. I see myself drawing a triangle around the cat. And then they'll do it, okay? The other way is that they say it and do it simultaneously. that, I will tell you, for most individuals is more challenging, okay? But, you know, we're not racing on this, okay? We're doing this together, and remember, you're going to help them, so let's say it and do it together. So, what do you see yourself doing? I see myself drawing a circle around the bear. I see myself drawing a box around the snake to keep him in. I see myself drawing an X on the fish. I see myself drawing a triangle around the cat. Excellent. Okay. Now, we're going to learn 2 more. And I always teach these together. And that is, I'm going to see you drawing a line under the elephant, and then I'm going to see you drawing a line above the turtle. So what do you see yourself doing to the elephant? I see myself drawing a line under the elephant. I see myself drawing a line above the turtle. Okay, so you ready? Okay, so let me take mine off. So go ahead, and I see you erasing. And, okay, you ready? Okay, what do I see you doing? I see myself drawing a circle around the bear. I see myself drawing a box around the snake to keep him in. I see myself drawing an X on the fish. I see myself drawing a triangle around the cat. I see myself drawing a line under the elephant. I see myself drawing a line above the turtle. Excellent. Now, let's erase them going backwards. We're starting with the turtle. I see myself erasing the line above the turtle. I see myself erasing the line under the elephant. I see myself erasing the triangle around the cat. I see myself erasing the X on the fish. I see myself erasing the box around the snake. I see myself erasing the circle around the bear. Okay, excellent. Okay, fabulous job. And I will tell you, this exercise greatly increases students' ability to follow multiple step directions. And we have a school down in eastern Kentucky, and you can go to Vimeo and put in Equipping Minds and see a 3-minute video on the school. But when I went down there, they were doing the animals. And I walked in, and they were in the cafeteria, and there were 15 students, and they had all 20 directions to the animals learned, forwards and backwards. But when I went in and they were doing it, they didn't have the page. They were doing it all from memory. And so I got to see a group of 5th and 6th graders sitting there all saying, I see myself drawing a circle around the bear. I see myself drawing a box around the snake to put him in. You know, I mean, my heart, I just almost started tearing up because they were so enthusiastic. I mean, I've never seen anybody so excited about doing their animals and doing it in unison. So it can be done in a group. And that particular school, there was one class, they had 53 kiddos doing Equipping Minds at one time because they could either go to Equipping Minds, art, or PE, and they keep choosing the Equipping Minds class. So it can be done in a large group. And then they said it backwards. And then the teacher, she did this. She said, okay, the tiger. And they would just say, I see myself drawing claws on the tiger. And she would just call them out. And so it was just amazing to see that. And the other thing that was just, my heart just stopped, is the kids would come up and they would say, oh, you're the one who made our games? Thank you. I can read now. I'm doing math. I'm remembering what I'm reading. And I was just having, these kids spontaneously coming up and sharing their achievements and giving me a hug and getting to spend the day there with them and hearing how they're going up. And you'll see it in the video. Some of the kids have gone up 2 grade levels from fall to winter in their reading scores. Their confidence, their behavior, academics, everything just generalizes. Their encouragement. You've got to go watch the Vimeo. You really do. Vimeo, Equipping Minds, and listen to the principal and the teachers share about the impact that doing Equipping Minds has on the students personally and academically, and how they just love doing it. Okay, so now we're going to jump over and go to our numbers. So I see you turning to your colored numbers. And last week, we did the first 3 directions on our numbers. And you guys here in person are the ones more on the spot, but I will help you. So, everybody out there online listening, what do you see yourself doing to the 1? I see myself drawing a circle around the 1. Yes, excellent. Okay, what do you see yourself doing to the 2? I see myself drawing an X on the 2. Excellent. What do you see yourself doing to the 3? I see myself drawing a box around the 3. Okay, so let's go in. We're going to do the first 2 lines together. So let's start with the 2. So we'll say, I see myself X the 2, circle the 1, circle the 1, box the 3, box the 3, circle the 1, X the 2, circle the 1, box the 3. Oops, I've got 3. Circle the 1, box the 3, X the 2. Circle the 1, box the 3, X the 2. Circle the 1. Okay, stop there. I am really challenged. By the way, this is my first time using the little thing on my Mac, and it's wanting to slide my numbers over. Yes. Okay, we're going to go back up and we're going to add 4 and 5. And once again, just like our elephant and our turtle, by the way, I like to teach 4 and 5 together. And I am hoping that everybody that is on Facebook Live and on YouTube, that getting to see it up here is better visually for everybody. It is definitely a little bit more challenging for me. So this is working my brain, just figuring out how to use this well. Okay, so what we're going to add is I see you draw a line under the 4, and then I see you draw a line above the 5. So what do you see yourself doing to the 4? I see myself drawing a line under the 4. I see myself drawing a line above the 5. Okay, so let's go in and and I'm going to be ready just in case. I have my plan B back up to go to my big sheet if I am challenged with this. Okay, you ready? So here we go. X the 2, circle the 1, line above the 5, line under the 4, circle the 1, box the 3, box the 3, under the 4, circle the 1, X the 2, line above the 5, line under the 4, circle the 1, line under the 4, box the 3, line above the 5, X the 2, line above the 5. Now stop there for me. And we are going to also notice here, what color is 1? Green. What color do you see on 2? Blue. What color is 3? Red. What color is 4? Yellow. And what color is 5? Black. And we had talked about last week that we would go in and we would put these down and say that you see blue on 2 and green on 1 and black on 5. And we cover these up with our cubes, okay? And we're going to look at a video that shows that in just a minute. But I'm also going to come in and let's look at this. Okay. Here we go. So now, when you look, and this is the code, so to speak, the brown end back. And so when you see the X, and we will move these out of the way, okay? And I'm actually going to shut this for a minute, okay? And so when you see the X, what's our number? 2. What's our color? Blue. What's our animal? Fish. Okay? When you see a circle, what number did we circle? 1. What color? Green. What animal? Bear. Okay, and we put a line above what number? 5. What color is 5? Black. What animal did I see you put a line above? Turtle. We have a line under. What number? 4. What color? Yellow. What animal? Elephant. Okay, and so going back over that, now last week we also did our vowels. And we did an X on the E for F and talked about using your phonics phone when you're learning those. This is the PVC pipe and it'll turn, and you always want to put that up to your student's right ear because of the connection with your main language center, and say F, and then we put a circle around the A for A, and then we boxed our I last week for I, and then I'm going to see you, and these are in your directions, to put a line under the O, and it's yellow, and a line above the U, which is black, okay? But I wanted us, so when we're looking at this, we could actually come in and say the number to the color green, the animal turtle, the vowel O, the vowel sound A. Okay? And so that's taking all that information and doing what's called an MBAC. And there's usually only been dual MBACs, but that's something that I created, was the Brown 4, 6, 9 MBAC. And so we keep building on that. And that's all the overlap, okay? So that's a crucial piece, and that's why I want you to go back, and I want to show you something to make sure everybody has this. When you're back in here looking at our animals, okay? Here they are. Don't want to mark set. Okay, so take a look. Stop and think. What did you see yourself doing to the bear? Circle the bear, box the snake, X the fish, triangle the cat, line under the elephant, line above the turtle, okay? And so when we look at those, let's take a look. You see your circle? So what number? 1. What animal? Bear. You see your line above? Turtle. And what number did we put a line above? 5. You see your X? What animal's hiding here? Fish. What number did you see yourself X? 2. What animal is inside our box? Snake. And what number did I see you box? 3. What animal did I see you underline? Elephant. What number did I see you underline? 4. Okay? So putting all those together. And then where we really get to put them together is on what are called your colored arrows. And on the arrows, you will see these, and these are pretty amazing. I love these. So we're going to come back here for just a minute as we look at them and let's view our arrows. Okay, so as you're looking here, let's say and I'll help you with this. So what's our number if it's yellow? 4. Okay, what color do we have? Blue. It's black, so I put a line above it. What's our animal? Turtle. Line above the turtle. Okay, I'm going to help you on this one. Our vowel that we did, if it's red, we box it, and that was our I. Okay, and then our vowel sound, if we A, and then what's our direction? Up. Okay, so we can come in and we're putting all that together. Now, for a student in this week or something, we're not going to do all that, okay? That's way, way, way too much. But that part of this that we're doing with this workshop is letting you see the layers, okay? And I will tell you, neuropsychiatrists in particular love this exercise. This is where they'll say, oh my goodness, Carol, you're having them do numbers and colors and images and symbols and, you know, animals and directionality and hold that sequence all at once. you've got all the parts of the brain working simultaneously, and they're using language, and they're marking it with a dry erase marker, and they may also be picking up a colored cube to put down. Yes, but don't we do that every day in real life, in jobs? Okay? There's not a job that you can have, whether you're a mom or a teacher or an electrician or you're working at Chick-fil-A or wherever, you're having to use your voice and hold a sequence of information and all of that simultaneously. And guess what? In the real world, your job doesn't make accommodations. And so that's why my passion is going in to strengthen those cognitive abilities. Because yes, you will see an increase in math and confidence and social skills and language and improved behavior and all that. But really, this is for a lifetime, an absolute lifetime. And so my other favorite part is watching your all's brains get stronger as you get to do this with your students. But I want us to go over and take a look at roses. And so I am going to jump on the internet, hopefully, and show you a couple clips. So some of you all might have felt a little overwhelmed. And this is a platform called Intervention Compass. And Intervention Compass is used by a lot of public schools to track the progress of their students, okay? And so it was really neat. There was an educator here in Frankfurt who's now out in Colorado who, when they understood what we were doing, they said, you've got to talk to the people at Intervention Compass. And when we met and they understood what Equipping Minds was, they said, we can put Equipping Minds at everybody's fingertips instantly. And I was having a hard time wrapping my head around that. Well, wait a minute. You know, they can get their workbook and they can get their training DVD, or they could come to conference, right? Well, he said, but what if you could teach them year-round, not just for an hour on a Wednesday night or for 5 days or in a 6-hour PD, so to speak. And so what happens with Intervention Compass is you come in, and I'm going to log on, and on the home page, this is loading, you would see an introduction to Equipping Minds video. You would see the session on Equipping Minds, neuroplasticity, and the research, and then the activities. And then you would come down here and you would have access to your student workbook, sample sessions, a learning screening, an intake questionnaire, our brochure, the Equipping Minds with Games handout that you've got, the Journal of Alternative Medicine Research, where my research is published, and the Equipping Minds curriculum, okay? And people also get the hard copy, but especially our families overseas, if they wanted access today, in a second, they could have access to all that, just like that. And then you go into the students, and I'm going to go over to one of my students, and I'm going to go on a student page. And here you're going to get to see the training videos, and these are the professional development videos, are right here, 6.5 hours of professional development training. But then, here we go. here we come into our arrows. And here you're going to see there are 38 steps, 38 different things that we do to the arrows. Okay? But guess what? Here are over 40 videos showing you each step. And some of the steps a couple different times. Okay? So you can go in, and you wanted to see how to do that. So you would just go in, watch the arrows, here we go. And so you would get to see me. Not sure where our volume is right now. And the student saying their numbers, their colors, their animals, the directions, and everything right there. Okay? And you would also see them doing it not perfectly as well. So you would get to see how they're doing that. Let's see if, I am not sure why we're not getting, yeah, but it's still not, Let's go over to Blink. Let's see if we can, I got my tech guy in here. Okay, and this is Blink played on 3 rows. You see the number row, the color row, and the shape row? And so here you would see me explaining this to a student, and they're going to put the first card on the number, and then on the color, and then on the shape. Okay? So every single step, over 500 videos. So parents can see, teachers can see, schools can see, and share this with their school, what to do and what it all looks like. And then it's really fun because you get to watch other students doing it. And so what then you do is you go in, and on Fidelity, you get to see where the student is on each of their exercises. So I can go into this student, and I see on February 23rd, they're on step 12 of the arrows, saying the numbers, then marking it with the symbol 4, alternating saying, writing the symbol, saying the color. And so on every single exercise, you see how the parent can go in, and I can know immediately where they're at, and one of our therapists can, to be able to check their progress. Okay? Just like that, which is amazing. So it has been revolutionary for us. And the exciting thing is, remember I told you that with Blink, that if you look here, we actually have 30 steps to Blink, but in the teacher book, we only have 24. Well, the teacher book was published last spring, and Equipping Minds is a dynamic program. I am always making it better and always thinking, oh my goodness, we could do this, we could do this. Well, with Roses, when I make an update, I get to share it with all our families and schools who are doing Roses instantly. and then they get to see further and further activities, and it's very living and dynamic. So wanted to show that to you guys. With Roses, people can get that either with no sessions, and when I say sessions, we actually do online therapy with families. And so we're able to do that and be a support till the family's ready to take over themselves. Some people just do Roses and don't need those sessions, and they're able to go in and just do that themselves. So I wanted to let you have a little peek at that this evening. We'll figure out our sound on that, hopefully next week, how we can show you the sound, because we've got kids with an SLD diagnosis, autism, Down syndrome, fetal alcohol syndrome, kids who were nonverbal. And I am going to say, the last thing I want to say tonight, I have had a lot of questions. If your child is nonverbal, if your child is deaf, and we have some families in those groups that are training with us, remember, you're their voice. Use your voice. You're going to put the words there for them. You can use your phonics phone, okay, and speak into the right ear. You can do sign with it and communicate with sign as well. So there are so many different things that you can do. But thank you guys for being here with us tonight. Next week, we'll do a slight review, but we're really going to jump into some strong comprehension next week that I'm really excited about. But practice these things. The nice thing is, for those of y'all who are here, by tomorrow, I'm sure this session, this training is going to be on our YouTube channel. Facebook Live is going to be up for the next little while until it goes over to the Equipping Minds YouTube channel. So if you're kind of like, what did she say? I missed that. You can go back and watch it, is the beautiful thing. So thank you guys for being with us tonight.